know this. When you're watching a football game and you're the offensive team and you commit holding while you're in the end zone, that's a safety. And that's how Arizona has taken the lead. They lead 15-13 now with 3:15 to go in the fourth quarter. And you guys mentioned, I heard you, Jody, talking about it. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan, especially on the previous drive where the 49ers are driving with the football, and he inexplicably calls for a long pass play for Ricky Pearsall. It gets intercepted. Now, the Cardinals didn't do anything with the ensuing possession, but still the Niners are in a position where they should be grinding out the game, running the football. Anyway, I digress. Let's go with some stats here and give an update on what's going on here in this game as far as the numbers go, as Kyler Murray is now 22 of 34 for 159 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, it's the running back Bernstein. He's got 8 carries for 37 yards, and McBride has 5 catches for 43, and Harrison 3 catches for 44 yards. For the 49ers, Mac Jones is 22 of 33 for 225 yards, touchdown and an interception. Christian McCaffrey, 52 yards rushing on 17 carries. And Ricky Pearsall, great game, but we'll see what happens here. 8 catches for 117 yards. And Christian McCaffrey, 9 catches for 68. But on the strength of that safety, the Cardinals now lead at 15-13.
Thank you, Ryan. Jody, I think we're both reacting to the same thing as that transpires. It's a big loss there. And now the Cardinals just have to hang on to the ball and eat some clock, as there is about 3:10 left in that one, as they are on the 44, second and 1. And if they get in the field goal territory, it makes it even harder on the Niners. A big miss here. 3rd and 10. They're in their own territory. They're on their own 22, and Bo Nix just misses Cortland Sutton. It's kind of been the theme of the day for him. He's been overthrown receivers all day. Missed Mims in the end zone, missed Mims down the sideline for what should have been a touchdown, and a lot of missed opportunities for Bo Nix and the Broncos today, and it may be one that comes back to bite them in the butt. Another, not missed opportunities, but the Packers, the Browns, it may have been a showcase of the two best defenses in football going out there and battling. The Browns salvaging, getting their first win. Ironically, week 1, their kicker, whose name slips my mind right now, their kicker went out there and lost them the game, and this week he went out and won them the game after a massive blocked field goal. First, let's start with the Packers. Anything to be concerned about, or just chalk it up to, this was a big, great defense, really just, stifling an offense that maybe – it will be fine in the long run. They're just playing one of those elite defenses.
No, I think that this is one of those games, and there are people, again, doing shows like this one, doing shows with national audiences and the like, talking to Packer fans and Packer detractors. The people who like Mr. Love at QB, I think some of them put him on a pedestal that he doesn't belong on. That they mention him with the Burrows and the Holmeses and the Allens and the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's not there. He's not as good as the 4, 5, 6 best quarterbacks in the league. And then you have the people who expect him to be Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre and get annoyed and say what a bum and what a stiff that he is. And, of course, he's not that either. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback who can make great plays and get you excited, but then make massive mistakes like the pick he threw late in that game today. You can't do that. If you are a franchise quarterback, you're supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. You got to complete that pass and keep the drive going and give your team a chance to win, but you sure as hell can't throw a pick and hand the game to the Browns on a silver platter at the end. Again, we need to get a grasp on where Love sits in the mix of quarterbacks in the National Football League. And to me, he's dead in the middle. He is out of about 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. You want to say he's in the top half? All right, fine. He's 14 or 15. He's not top 10. He sure as hell is not top 5. But he's not a franchise quarterback, which some people make him out to be. But he's not a stone-cold stiff either. But that was a very, very painful pick that he threw in the second half today against the Browns.
Yeah, and I think it's also just that, we're quick to crown people. It used to be somebody needed to do, outside of Dak Prescott, we're quick to crown people. And it used to be like, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning had to do so much for us to just give them credit. I think Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, I don't think to the same extent, because I don't think everyone thinks Bo Nix is as great as those two. But I think a lot of these young quarterbacks, we were just ready to anoint them as guys ready to lead their team consistently. And I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels or Jordan Love are bad, but I do think that you're right that this is a perfect example of him. Maybe he could get there, but he's not there yet. And there's a lot for them to show to go forward. And for the Browns, this is a huge win. And if they want, I think they've been competitive in 2 of the games. They honestly should be 2-1 right now. They have to make a change at quarterback. I'm not saying that it's going to change much, but it's clear that they don't have the offensive line for Joe Flacco to sit behind and, stand there with his cement shoes and throw the ball downfield. And I'm not saying, although I am a Shedeur Sanders fan, I'm not saying it has to be Shedeur Sanders. They have to give one of these young guys a chance, because if they want to show anything to their fan base to maybe, now I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but believe it in the future, because they were out. If they don't block that kick, the Boo Birds were out. We heard it every time we went to the Stringer today. We heard it every time Bozico was checking in with us. It was loud, and they were disappointed. And I think they have to make a move at quarterback.
And that's fair because, and I thought Flacco was going to win that job. He didn't win that job, even though they swore up and down it would be an open competition. And they ended up trading the quarterback that they got from the Eagles, who some people thought that he was actually going to be the Pittsburgh starter. I knew that wasn't happening. It was going to be one of the rookies, or it was going to be Flacco. And it turned out to be Flacco. And here's the problem that I have with Flacco. Again, he throws for 142 yards. On 36 attempts. So they know that their offensive line isn't what it's supposed to be. They know that Flacco can't move. So they decided to design the offense as everything, not even 3-step drop, 1.5-step drop, and get the football hell out of your hands, Joe. And he's doing it, and he's completing an okay percentage, but they can't get anything down the field. And when Flacco was Flacco, he had a big arm. He could stretch the field. He could make plays throwing 15, 16, 17-yard outs. This Cleveland team doesn't even try that. So if you're going to continue to play Flacco, well, then you got to let him be Flacco and let him drop back and let him see if he can get the ball down the field. Just having him play dink, dunk, quick release isn't going to do anything. Now, they won the game today, but they won the game today basically because of special teams and one defensive turnover. You're right. If they're just going to do this, we'll keep it safe. We'll not turn the football over. We'll take all these short passes. It's just as good to have a young guy in that and have him developing as old man Flacco doing it. I think that it's wrong the way that they've designed the offense if he's their QB.
Yeah, I agree, because if they go out there today and they struggle the way they do, the fans are probably receiving it a lot different. Let's go out to L.A. The Chargers are setting up for a big play here, a big field goal, and our guy Chuck Hayes sets the scene.
5 seconds remaining in this one. Cameron Dicker will attempt a 43-yard field goal out of the hold of J.K. Scott. It's down, it's up. And it is good. And it is the Chargers 23 and the Broncos 20.
Well, another painstaking loss for the Broncos as they come down and choke away another game. And here comes the Chargers now 3-0. And again, I know we're not expecting it, but this Chargers team 3-0, and they are going to put a lot of pressure on this Chiefs team, because I feel like, maybe they go out there, they drop the game, and we, can see the Chiefs having a little bit of a breathing room. But the Chargers go out, they win a clutch one. It took an entire team effort for them to get the job done, and now the Chiefs sit there with the pressure to have to go out and win this game.
And, oh, by the way, remember, week number 1, Chargers beat the Chiefs straight up. So they're up by 3.5. If the Chiefs lose tonight, they're up by 3.5 games, 3 games into the season, because they got the tiebreaker in the head-to-head. Now the two teams will meet later in the season. Kansas City wins that. They pick up a game and a half with that type of a win. But, yeah, Chargers already sitting kind of comfortable in the AFC West so far with this 3-0 start.
Yeah, and I think for the Broncos, I try to temper expectations. I am a Broncos fan, if you haven't noticed, but I tried to temper expectations. A lot of people around the office, they can win the division. My idiot friend Stu saying they were going to be in the Super Bowl. I tried to tell people the same thing I said with the Commanders. We're anointing these teams too fast, and they are not a good team right now. I'm not sure you could categorize them as anything more than an above average, if that, squad. They could have lost week 1. They lost last week in a game that they got outplayed. I mean, 400 and something yards. And tonight they got beat by the better team. And I think this is it's year 3 for Sean Payton. It's year 2 for Bo Nix, and he's looked awful. I think there's a lot of questions in Denver that are going to need to be answered over the next few weeks.
And you noted a couple of those plays. When you've got receivers open and it's just blatantly a bad throw, overthrown, not putting enough zip on the ball, you can see that. That comes out in film. So Bo Nix is going to hear about the bad game that he had this week when they break down the film thereafter. Not that the Broncos are going to do anything. They're married to him. He's going to be their quarterback for years to come. But you're right. He's off to a pretty poor start this year, is the second-year QB of the Broncos.
We'll come back. We'll take a break. Me and Jody will continue the conversation. We'll follow along as this Niners-Cardinals game comes down to the wire. Cowboys, Bears is about to wrap up. We'll get a recap on those. We'll preview Monday night, along with some more conversation about Sunday night. We'll update the fantasy scoreboards. All that at Affinity Sports Net. This is Gridiron Game Day. Back after this.
Stay tuned for more Gridiron Game Day, a production of the Infinity Sports Network.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily log.
It's time for the Scores Postgame Show, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com and buy a Turo tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Turo.com. Now, here are your hosts, Olin Kreutz, Patrick Meneley, and Mully from the Mully and Haugh Show on Chicago's Sports Radio, 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome in. It is the football post-game show on The Score, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and a Turo tire. Super Bowl Super Bears. Dare I say it. Hey, I'll tell you what. What a great recovery, turnaround. I mean, there's no way around it. That was a big-time win for the Chicago Bears. You got to feel good about it, guys.
Yeah, man, it was a great answer, right? The whole week we were talking about, what are they going to do? And then they were talking about us as media, people on the outside doubting them. I mean, that was a great answer. They came out there and did it. They scored 31 points. I think that's 5 out of the last 7 times Ben Johnson has faced Matt Eberflus. He's put 30-plus points on them. They played a complete game. I thought early, Olin, the line of scrimmage you were talking about, we were getting a little manhandled early, giving up 7 yards a carry. But you know what? Thank God we were ahead. So they had to go to the pass. Then the takeaways, happened. Tyreek Stevenson play on the sideline. That was pretty special. Another one that answered, right? That came back and bounced back and played a great game. So credit to all those guys going out there and shutting us up. I picked them to lose. Yep. You guys picked them to win, and they went out there in dominating fashion and won. And it's great to see. I was hoping to see that improvement between week 1 and week 2, but we got to see it between week 2 and week 3. And they put it on the Dallas Cowboys, and that was a lot of fun to watch. And they deserved it, and we all deserve it here in Chicago.
I talked a lot about them getting a win, right? Getting a win and getting the thing moving in the right direction. It's hard to win in the NFL. Congratulations to Ben Johnson on his first win in the NFL in the regular season. It's hard to do. He went out there, he coached. We saw a lot of the concepts and the schemes and the creative things that he was known for in Detroit. And I thought he did a great job getting his team moving in the right direction. Pat, you talked a lot about in the pregame show, we want to win because of Caleb Williams. I think we saw that tonight.
Yes.
I think we saw him make a lot of plays, make a lot of throws, and in the pocket. And incredibly interesting, to listen to Tom Brady break down what he's doing well, what he could work on. Thought that was a really good insight for the Chicago Bears fans to watch that game. But credit Dennis Allen, right, with his group going into the game. Yes, Pat, they couldn't stop the run. And for whatever reason, Schottenheimer goes to gun passes on 2nd down and 5. Hey, look, that's for them to call. They only give up 14 points. They end up with a bunch of takeaways. They end up getting after the quarterback. The simulated pressures on 3rd down. The guests we had in pregame talked about how, from Dallas, talked about how Prescott struggles with that and doesn't know where the blitz is coming from when you put blitzes at him. And Dennis Allen seemed to know that, so he could get him in 3rd down, could get him to check the ball down. A lot of credit to the Chicago Bears for the game we watched today. And just you knew, we thought going into the game, here's a team they match up with. Go get a win. Don't make as many penalties. Don't make as many mistakes. Go make the plays that you need to make. Luther Burden shows up. Colston Loveland shows up. I know he went out of the game, but it was just good to see some of those guys out there making plays. Tyreek Stevenson been under a lot of criticism, man.
Yes.
Came out there, played good football. Congratulations to him. I think he was who's hot and who's not. I think we had him as who's not. We'll switch that this week.
He was representative. Yes. I mean, he was just kind of representing the defense, as we discussed. No, listen, he played a great game. I'll tell you what, to me, you love seeing the explosives, right? You love seeing explosive plays. But that drive in the second half, when they come out and they go like 3 and out, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden they march, was it 76 yards, 75 yards? They hold the ball for 9.5 minutes, 19 plays. That is the longest play number of the entire season in the NFL. That was running the ball, and that was grinding it out, and that was something that you thought that Dallas was going to do all day. And the Bears kind of turned it around on them, and then they go for it on 4th down. You're kind of, I don't know. Boom, touchdown. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Olin, I had that 4th down circled. I'm like, all right, here we go. I just had it circled, waiting to see what happened. Then DJ's wide open. Ben Johnson called a hell of a game. Just a lot of the times we've been yelling here in Chicago, can't you scheme guys open? And he's been doing that. He had a lot of fun with the flea flickers, the trick plays, and things like that. The end around after, was it right after a 1st down? He was having fun. But Olin, I want to ask you about that 19-play drive. 11 runs in a row.
Yes.
That's an O-lineman's dream, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And it's like you talked about, Pat, in pregame, we talked about you thought the O-line could go get after this group up front for the Dallas Cowboys. And eventually, the game, it took a while, but they warmed up. And in that drive, they got going a little bit. Running backs got going downhill. And, I think they're 8 for 14 on 3rd down, guys, in this game. I mean, that's huge. So you keep drives alive. You keep things going. They got the big plays. And they kept saying they have these chunk plays, but the Cowboys have more time of possession. All of a sudden, you see, right, with a rested defense, you hold the ball for 9 minutes and 50 seconds, I think, Mully, or something like that. It's crazy. 19 plays.
It's crazy. Yep.
Just fun to watch. Fun to watch for an O-lineman on the field. You see guys getting tired. You're trying to wear them out, trying to move guys off the ball. Theo Benedict comes in, does a good job for Darnell Wright. When he went out, Darnell Wright comes back in, Pat. And I thought to myself, you talked about go out there and you don't have to be a leader who screams at everybody. But he comes out there with that big brace on his arm. He's going to play with his guys, right? And that's a leader. That's a young guy showing that, look, I want to be out here. I want to play. I want to get after guys. And the Chicago Bears in their 3rd quarter really wore down that Dallas defense and started to get after them. And Ben Johnson, just enough misdirection, just enough play action to keep them on the field and keep that drive going and keep it alive. And it was fun. It was fun to watch them win a football game. It was fun to watch the big plays. It was fun to watch the defense get the takeaways. It's good to see the Chicago Bears win a football game at home at Soldier Field.
And Pat, you're right. Like Tyreek Stevenson tearing that ball out of Williams' hands on the sideline there, what a play. I mean, what a really smart, heady, good play, and it sort of set the tone for all the big plays to come.
It did, and we were getting gashed, too, on the run. Like that,
they
were moving the ball on us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, don't start this all day. Don't establish the run on us. And they were, but that's an opportunistic defense, and I mean, honestly, that guys, like you said, he was, the cold player of the week.
Yes.
He got burned last week. He had to have a long week at Hallis Hall. It's no fun after you play a game like that and your name's all across the headlines and you're seeing touchdowns scored on you. But he came back and he bounced back and he played a heck of a game. And that play started it. And I was really happy to see that. And hopefully that can springboard him, to going forward and making more plays like that.
I thought the kind of trick play where they did the lateral, that ball, I mean, that ball, it went so high in the air. You're like sitting there watching this play develop, and you have this like, oh no, like you just were expecting something horrible to happen. He catches the ball, and then he threw it like 65 yards in the air right to Bird. I mean, that was sensational. That was a really, after you got it, the operation of it was finished, you were like, wow, really appreciative of it. But in real time, that ball was like a 3-point shot. I mean, the arc on that thing was insane.
Mm-hmm. Under pressure too. Under pressure too.
Right.
And when you impress the greatest to ever do it with your arm talent, you're doing something, right? And Tom mentioned, I don't know how many times, how far of a throw that was and how accurate it was. I think it was 60. I think he said 67 or 68 yards, right in Luther Burden's hands, under pressure. I think that's Kenny Clark coming up the middle, putting pressure on Caleb, and he got rid of it after, like you're saying, Mully. It wasn't the cleanest flea flicker you ever seen. And all the games we watched for the Chicago Bears, you're just kind of expecting doom, right? You're like, oh man, this one isn't going to work. But guys, I mean, 4 takeaways we talked about before the game. Bring it down to 5 or 7 penalties. That's what good teams do. They had 6 penalties for 41 yards. A lot of things today. Ben Johnson challenged his team, wondered out loud, gosh, I mean, what's he doing? Why don't you just fix it? Today, they showed us they got it fixed. They got themselves a win. Won pretty convincingly against a Dallas Cowboys team that we all saw lost some guys, but the Bears don't feel bad because they don't have a lot of guys out there either that should be out there.
Yeah, I mean, guys, what we saw today is winning football. What we've seen the last 2 weeks or I guess the last quarter of the Minnesota game and then last week is losing football, right? You expect like Luther Burden to drop that ball because it's hanging in the air so long. And I think Next Gen Stats said it was the longest throw of the year by any quarterback.
Wow.
And Olin, I wanted to second what you said. If you can wow Tom Brady, you're doing something. He's watched a lot of football. He's played a lot of great football. And for him to be, wowed by that throw, that says a lot about Caleb. And I want to go back to Caleb and the way he played in the pocket. I do think they won because of him. I thought he played a great game. I thought he saw the field well. I thought the offensive line blocked pretty well as well to help him see that. But, we keep talking about the growth of Caleb. We saw some growth. He played a very, very good game. And I was excited to see that. And if he can continue doing that with Ben Johnson, we might see more games like this.
19 of 28, 298 passing yards, just a hair under 300, and the 4 touchdowns. I mean, 4 touchdowns. That is exactly what you were hoping for. And we talked about, in the pregame, we talked, the Bears kind of had score 30 if they were going to win this game. And it turned out that they won handily because they scored so many touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns and 4 takeaways, Pat. You usually win that game pretty convincingly, right? So Chicago Bears came out today. I thought Caleb did a really nice job, like you're saying. I thought the offensive line battled all day. They attacked the middle of the field. We thought that their zone coverage coming in. We heard from people in Dallas who had watched them before that they struggled in coverage, and that showed up, and the Bears just kept getting after them with their weapons, and you saw the design today, it was such a good day. Torrey Taylor downed him inside the 10-yard line. I was like, man, everything. And right after that, Montez Sweat had his first sack. So everything was going, everything that you were questioning going into this game shows up there for the Chicago Bears there at Soldier Field today. And again, just you enjoy the win and really go break it down, watch the film, and see what was good and see if you can build off of this heading to play the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, we got to be encouraged, right? Mully, we were talking about all the injuries on defense to only give up 14 points. That's impressive. I was nervous. I think we all were. We all had 30 points for the Cowboys somewhere. We all thought it would be near there just because of that defense. But, again, credit to Dennis Allen. We were questioning him. How would he dial up his defense? How would he deal with a depleted defense, and he did a heck of a job against a Cowboys offense that looked good the first 2 weeks of the NFL.
I know Dak was having a high completion percentage, but so many of those were passes to the tight end, like on third down. Like they were passes that had no chance of actually converting a first down. They were kind of check downs to the tight end. I haven't looked at the final stats, but I'm guessing that tight end had felt like the guy had, 15 catches. It was crazy.
You hear Brady was
13
mad that he
catches
went
for
out.
82 yards. Yeah.
Did he really? Wow.
You hear Brady call him out. Brady was like, Edelman would never leave. He'd want the ball again. But there were check downs, and we know, right, that CeeDee Lamb was out the whole game. And
yes.
How many points would you have guessed that they would need if the Cowboys are coming in without CeeDee Lamb, right? So
right.
That's a big. But listen, Jalen Johnson's not out there for the Bears. Kyler Gordon's not out there. T.J. Edwards is not out there. We don't have guys either, right? So we're the last team that's going to feel bad for you when you're undermanned. And the Chicago Bears, Dennis Allen came in after giving up 52 points last week with a lot of questions, Pat. And like you're saying, they would never really stop the run today, right? That we just started scoring so many points and getting them behind the sticks, and all of a sudden they had a penalty and they made a mistake and they were in third and long where they had to throw the ball. And then those simulated pressures that Dennis Allen lines every up on the line of scrimmage, Dak couldn't figure that out. He couldn't figure out where to go with the ball. He couldn't figure out who was coming. They couldn't figure out what zones they were rolling to and whether they're in man or zone or whatever it was. So really fun game to watch for the Chicago Bears.
Mully, the stats on Ferguson, 13 catches, 82 yards. He only averaged 6.3 yards a catch.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, it was just a check down Charlie to him, that's fine by me.
Do you feel it was sustainable? And I mean, in a funny mirror kind of world, the Bears, barring one bad fourth quarter, and I know they got routed last week, but they could conceivably be 2-1. They were in control of that game for 3 quarters of it and fell apart in the fourth quarter. And now here they are. I know Dallas is not a good team, and I know they started 1-2 last year, and here they go again. But and you're right, Olin. I thought when CeeDee Lamb went out, when he came back in, I was like, uh-oh. And then he ran one play, and he couldn't. The ankle was too bad. He had to go back and miss the game. So that was huge. That helped a ton.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and listen, to your question, Mully, is it sustainable if we can play these Cowboys at home every week? Yes. Right? I mean, we're also very realistic on what we watched today, and you congratulate the Chicago Bears, and you like what you saw there, and they overcame a lot of things, but that was not a great Cowboys team and a depleted Cowboys football team by the end of the day, and so are the Bears, though. So it's hard to win in the NFL every week. Like you guys know, like Pat does, and a lot of analysts do. You watch the film, you let it talk to you, what you really saw, what you didn't see, what will carry over the next week. When we get to all 22, it'll be nice to go through it, break it down and say, okay, like you're saying, Mully, what is sustainable? Why didn't the run work for so long again? What's going on there, right? What's going on with the inaccuracy in some of the passes? And, just those things that you're watching for in the defense. Why can't we stop the run? Why can't we get our pads down? Why can't we run fit? Why are guys averaging, over 6 yards a carry versus us? But those are things that they have to fix. They know that. But when like we talked about, when your quarterback, Pat, was saying before the game, man, want to win because of Caleb. And I thought today he was a better player on the field than Dak Prescott. I thought he played really, really good football, and he was a difference in the game when he extended the play, found co-commander back at the end zone, DJ Moore, and just made a lot of good football plays for his football team.
Yeah, as far as sustaining this, though, Mully,
yes,
they put up 31 points against a bad defense. That's what you want to see, right?
Yes.
But I want Caleb to sustain what he did today. Play that same way. Play from the pocket. Play poised. Hit the open receiver. There were a few times on third down he looked very comfortable. Obviously, the O-line was blocking well, but can they sustain that? I expect that out of him. I expect him to play well every week now and to keep this growth going, and I thought he grew a lot today. And so as far as sustainability, I want to see Caleb play like this every week.
Yeah, the third down efficiency for the Bears, they converted 8 of 14 third downs, whereas, the Dallas Cowboys 3 of 11, and that stops drives. They did convert a couple fourth downs, but 3rd and 11 is pretty good. You should feel pretty proud of that.
Yeah, 8 for 14, Mully, like you're saying, is really good. Offensive line gets some credit for that, right?
Yes.
Receivers getting open, and then Caleb operating the scheme that he's giving from, and then Ben Johnson on the sideline, and you could tell at one point he was really what did they say the young kids say now, in his bag, I guess, right? He was really in his bag, calling plays. He was ahead of the defense corner. He had the misdirections going. I think Tom Brady mentioned it, right? Like he's throwing a little bit of everything at these guys, and he's got them a little off balance. And honestly, man, it was fun to watch them for a game today, just to see, man. There was the Ben Johnson that we heard about and we saw on film. There was the Caleb Williams that were drafted number 1 in the draft. There they were with all their weapons, Luther Burden and DJ Moore and all those guys out there. It was, Swift on the screen, really good in the open field, like we all know about him. The O-line blocking, really, really good game for the offense today.
No doubt about it. And frankly, I was surprised that the defense did as well as they did. And, part of that is, as you say, Tyreek Stevenson played a really good game. And you could almost see his confidence growing after that takeaway to start the game. And things started going very positively for him.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, I'm encouraged what I've seen. I'm very encouraged. It was a bad defense, but I'm very encouraged what I'm seeing. And I hope this marriage between Caleb and Ben Johnson continues to grow, and Ben Johnson is truly that great of a quarterback whisperer, or whatever you want to call him, OC head coach, and can get this kid to be great.
They had a report from Tom Rinaldi at one point where he said that Caleb told him that the coach isn't afraid to call him out, and he does it in front of his teammates all the time. And I think that's a positive turn of events. I don't know how he feels about it, but it was. I think that's an important thing to do. And then Tom, claimed, I don't know anything about that, because obviously Belichick would do that to him. It was like a nice little moment for them on the broadcast.
Yeah, it really is. When you hear that, that's what you want, Pat, right? In the locker room, on the field, you don't want to see your best players getting a pass, and your best players want to get coached, right? And that's the standard and the details and the things that you hear everyone talking about for 2 years now, and you're waiting to see it on the field. And it was nice to see it on the field today with the details, and they're getting coached, and there was not a lot of cadence problems, right? That's what we said we're going to this game watching for cadence problems, watching for false starts, watching for motions and things to look like they're doing them well. And it looked like today that they got a lot of those things cleaned up, and they got those things going in the right direction. And you got to give credit where credit is due. And Ben Johnson keeps harping on them, and that means they're coaching them in practice, and they're getting better at what they're trying to do and what they're trying to be.
All right, we're going to open up.
It sounded good at the O-line of scrimmage. No, I'm just saying it sounded good at the O-line of scrimmage. You could hear it. Just Caleb sounded in control. It sounded really good. It sounded different than what we've heard in the past.
We're going to open up the phone lines for everybody. 312. What's the number? I don't think it's changed. 312-644. Yeah.
67.
You got it. You know the number.
See, I call in all the time.
I don't ever get to do reads, so I wouldn't know. No one ever gives me any reads around here, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I only say
you do too much, Olin. You're heavy lifting too much now. You don't need to do that.
Thank you very much.
You don't need to do that.
You do too much. You should stop.
Pat, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're the heavy lifter.
All right, we're gonna get to a quick break, and we'll be back with your calls. It's the Football Postgame Show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tire.
Bears win. Ben Johnson gets his first win in front of the Soldier-Field faithful, beating the Cowboys.
Way up there. Williams recovers. Throws a seed. Has a man. It is caught for a touchdown.
Stick around as all of our shows and Bears experts dissect the game from every angle and take you inside the locker room. Plus, we'll discuss their next game as the Bears head west to take on the Raiders. Here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Bet365 is paying out before Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. T&Cs apply.
Hey football fans, Patrick Manley here. 2 things I love, long snapping and an ice cold beer. So I partnered up with my friends at Tighthead Brewing Company to create Long Snapper IPA. It's a delicious West Coast style IPA with caramel malt flavors perfectly balanced with earthy pine and grapefruity citrus hop aromas. Find Long Snapper IPA wherever fine craft beer is sold and enjoy one on game day or at your next tailgate. Stop by our brewery in Mundelein or find Long Snapper IPA at all Chicago football home games. For exclusive Long Snapper merch, visit tightheadbrewing.com. Long Snapper IPA, worth more than a try.
Fall is the season for reinvention, and it's easy to do at Macy's Fall Favorite Sale. Come in and find your new favorite styles, like romantic ruffled dresses, chic trenches, cashmere sweaters, and textural fall layers, which are perfect for mixing and matching. All for 20 to 50% off. So if you're looking for your new favorite things, look no further than the Fall Favorite Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at schneiderjobs.com.
Hey, it's David Haugh for Verizon, and if you're like me, you like knowing what to expect, especially when it comes to your phone bill. Well, Verizon's got some big news for your peace of mind. For the first time ever, they're locking in low prices for 3 years. That's right, 3 years guaranteed with my plan. So if you're thinking about making the switch to Verizon, this is just for you. You can get a single line for a low price of just $50 a month when you switch and bring your phone on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. And again, that price is locked in for 3 whole years because at Verizon, they've got your back now and in the future. So go ahead, take one thing off your worry list. Visit your local Verizon store in Chicago and ask about their 3-year price guarantee today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Football is back. Dallas versus Chicago on Sunday afternoon. Watch the game at the #1 destination in Kane County, Old Republic Kitchen and Bar. Ice cold beer and legendary food. Old Republic is an official Miller Lite Bears headquarters, located off Randall Road and Route 20 in Elgin.
Under a minute to go. Mully back, zips one, and it's picked off. Kevin
defense today, and they have a lot to be happy about, but maybe out of all but none to be happier about, nothing more to be happier about than maybe the best early career game of Caleb Williams. This might be the best one he's put out there yet. 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, 68% completions, and a rating of 142. He was special today.
Welcome back to the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tire. And it was quite a performance. You know, game ball to Ben Johnson, game ball to a lot of people, frankly, and Caleb certainly among them. You have to give out a whole, I don't know, boxes of balls, for God's sake. It was as good a win as the Bears have had in a while, certainly the only win they've had this year, but who's complaining? That was a really good game.
It really was.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch, Pat, right?
Yeah, that's what I just took the words right out of my mouth, Olin. It was fun to watch. It was nice to have that, right? Oh, it's what I want to ask you guys for a second. When we did get up 31-14, were you like, uh-oh? Did you give a little bit of an uh-oh? I think all Bears fans are like, how could they come back? How can we mess this up? Did you think that way at all or no?
You know, honestly, I didn't. But go ahead.
Okay, good.
No, just a little bit, but then I realized who was on the other sideline. I was watching the whole game and went back to the film. But just a good, like, when I had an Pat, was remember right after Tyreek Stevenson caused the fumble, they gave the ball to DeAndre Swift. He hit it up the middle, and then there was a penalty on the ground. I said, oh, man. Here we go again. And it was hands to face on Dallas. And I thought, oh, maybe it is a different day. Maybe today is a different. I was expecting a holding or something on the Chicago Bears. And it was actually, I think Cole Kmet was blocking somebody. And it was hands to face on the Dallas Cowboys. And that's when I thought, maybe it's a little bit of a different day today, because as soon as I saw the run, and I think Swift hit it up there for 3 or 4 yards early in the game, right after Tyreek Stevenson caused the fumble, and I thought, here we go again. But it wasn't on us. It was on the other team, and that was a good start to the day right there.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I thought when they scored at the end of the half, that was a huge moment for them, because you knew that Dallas was going to get the ball coming out, and it went 14, then you're up a field goal, and then you're worried about what they're going to do. And then when they scored that touchdown, especially, what was it, like 25 seconds left or something, and then they had called all their timeouts. I just thought that the Bears were in pretty good shape. I thought Dallas was going to come out and score. They were moving the ball, and then they just stopped. And then from the, because the Bears had like a 3-and-out to open the second half, and then you thought, wow, once they had that drive, that was the end of the game. I thought it was over when they scored the 9.5-minute drive.
And when you're watching it, right, Pat, you're thinking, okay, like Mully is saying, it's like, okay, we score, Rome Odunze scores, Diggs slips, right, and so I think it was 3rd down, and he scores, and you're like, okay, we did score there, but little luck on the guy slipping, right, and then we score on a flea flicker, and you're waiting, like Mully's saying, you're waiting for a little more of an efficient offense that we're just kind of beating the guys in front of us, and that was that drive at the end of the half, and then the 9-minute drive in the 3rd quarter that really said, okay, those are the things we were waiting to see, that we are moving in the right direction in this game, and we are going to win this football game.
All right,
real quick, Mully, we've talked about, Olin, we talked about it last year a little bit, is what Caleb's doing. He did it last year a little bit, scoring points before the half. Was able to come back against Minnesota. They lost in overtime, scoring points at the end of the game. But that was like a 7-play drive with 2:25 left in the second quarter, starting at the Bears' 29-yard line, and put 7 points on the board. That's what he's paid to do. That's why he was drafted where he was. And that's a backbreaker to teams going in. It helps the offense, or helps the Bears, and they go running into at halftime, and it's demoralizing to the Cowboys when they go into halftime. So that's just more of good on Caleb as far as the game played and what he did, put up 7 points right before half.
All right, let's get some calls. We'll start with Matthew. Matthew is on the south side. Hey, Matthew.
Hey, how's it going, man? Big fan of the show, first-time caller.
Make it a habit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to say, Bears played a nice game. I'm really happy we got this win. One of the things I think Darnold, right, just needs to clean up the penalties a little bit. You know, he's getting 2 penalties in the first half, and it seems like that's what he's going to start averaging. And as a first-round pick, I just think he needs to clean that up. Second, you know, flea flicker, wonderful play. It looked sloppy, but it's just those little things that the Bears need to clean up. And like everybody's saying, we can build off this. I'm wondering how many people were scared that the Bears were going to blow the 17-point lead, because I know I was.
Pat, take it. You just talked about it.
I just asked that question because I did. In the back of my mind, I did. I'm like, oh no, please don't give us another one of these post games, man. Please, or else I'm going to lose it. But they played winning football, and they went out and won 31-14. But Olin, I think you tweeted at some point, it might have been right after that 19-play drive, run the ball. What does Ben Johnson do? He lines up in Wildcat, runs like a pseudo flea flicker to Caleb that I think they got a penalty on it or whatever. But all I did is thought about you. I'm like, why aren't we running the ball? Why aren't we running the ball? But Ben Johnson just being himself.
I had a few other choice words for Ben when he ran that play. But that's the old lineman in me, Pat. Right? I'm a run game guy, and he's got to do his thing, and that is. You put that on film and you keep guys off balance. They never know what you're going to run, which makes him incredibly dangerous, right? And he does take chances. Like I said, on that 4th down, I would have kicked the field goal, right? I wouldn't have ran that flea flicker, but that's why Ben Johnson's on the sideline with the clipboard, and I'm not, right? And, some things you worry about, right? The same thing. The Cowboys are moving the ball. The Cowboys look good. The Bears can't stop them. And all of a sudden, they're handing the ball to CeeDee Lamb in the backfield. Things like that baffle you, right? Like, why would you put your best player in the backfield and hand him the football, and then he's hurt? He's out for the whole game. So, but today it worked out for Chicago Bears. Yes, I think everyone had a thought at one point, like, man, we could still lose this game from everything that we've seen over the last 14 to 15 football games here in Chicago.
You know, it was also the first game of Caleb's career where he did not get sacked. And I thought that, you didn't feel like they were really going to – I mean, I think he had a pass batted down, and he ran a couple of times and didn't – he ran and he slid one time. But a couple of other times he was just running the ball, and I was kind of like, not sure about that. But he wasn't getting knocked around or under pressure. It was good that he had more time.
I thought the O-line did a good job today, Pat. I thought they played well. They played well in pass protection. And I think that when you look really closely at the film, and I think the advanced stats have proven this to be true, because like I've said a million times, I'm an O-line apologist. I'll find a reason why the O-line was right on a play, right? But the stats have proven out that they are blocking for Swift to get 2 or 3 or 4 yards, and he's not getting anything else after that. So this O-line is coming together a little bit. They played a better game today. That team I watched today, for some odd reason, the geniuses upstairs trade away Micah Parsons. That's not for me to decide why you would do that and why you wouldn't, right? And they went and got themselves a 30-year-old nose guard, and Dan Campbell said he'd rather not play against Kenny Clark than Parsons. I don't know what goes on in the NFL sometimes. I get a little confused when I hear people talking, but the Chicago Bears can only play against who they line up. And today, the Bears at home, Pat, used their cadence, Mully, kept the penalties down, executed plays, and their young quarterback got the ball out, and his arm talent was on full display, and so was the play caller that we heard a lot about coming into this year.
And I watched a little bit of that Browns game. How about Packers lose? I mean, this is a glorious day for the Chicago Bears, right? Sorry, Pat.
Yeah, it's a great day. No, I was just saying, and just to go back to Caleb and the way he executed the offense, you watch everything, you listen to everything. You listen to the cadence, you watch him get in the huddle, get out of the huddle. You watch him watch the play clock, snap the ball on time, go through the dummy cadence, get ready to snap on turbo or whatever, on 2 or whatever they're doing. He looked very comfortable. It flowed. He looked more like a veteran quarterback, a quarterback like I talked about in pregame, that it's a start 20. I want to start seeing that. I want to see command of this offense. And he looked that way. He looked very comfortable even when the clock was running down, that he was, dissecting what was going on defense, understood the play clock was at 6 or 7, had a few more seconds to go ahead and, say the turbo set hut or get the ball snapped to him. He just looked a lot more comfortable. And the question is it because you've seen Matt Eberflus's defense a lot before in practice, during the offseason and stuff like that? I don't know, but he just looked a lot more comfortable, and it's encouraging to see what we've seen from week 1 to week 3 so far.
Eberflus didn't vary anything. I mean, I think he did what he does. It didn't seem like there were any surprises from him. And I know
the man coverage on the first touchdown was a surprise for me on 3rd and 8, right?
That's true.
And he blitzes his linebacker, and credit DeAndre Swift, because the running backs for the Bears in the first 2 games were struggling with blitz pickup, right? They were struggling protecting the quarterback, and guys are setting him. And I think Eberflus saw that on film, and so I'm gonna put him under pressure again. And Swift steps up, crowds the line, Pat, gives his young quarterback some room, drops his shoulder and picks that linebacker up and holds him off, man. And Rome Odunze, call it what you want, a slip or not, but he beats the cornerback, the best cornerback the Cowboys have that day, and in a touchdown. So he tried to vary it, but I think the Bears, like we talked about coming into the game, I didn't know if Eberflus would have enough bullets in his gun to actually do what he thought he could do against Caleb Williams. And credit the Bears for executing against what they had put on film, Pat, that they were struggling with going into the game.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just overall impressed, because when I watched the Cowboys versus the Eagles, all right, that's week 1. You look back on it, but they competed pretty darn hard. They put up a lot of points last week. They gave up a lot of points, but offensively, they looked really good last week. The Bears they looked impressive today. I just want to go back to what the opening statement, that they answered it, right? They answered all of our questions this week. Every Sunday's different, but a lot of credit to those guys going out there and playing the way they did, offensively and defensively and special teams wise. I got to give them credit. Turpin's one of the best returners in the NFL, and they handled him really well. So all across the board, they played a complete game, obviously winning 31-14. That's what it says, but it was just really nice to watch. And, you know what we should do? We should start trashing them every week so they talk the way they did and play the way they did this weekend. Maybe we could do that. Maybe I'll start calling out all the bad stuff they did.
We are helping.
It's hard
take a little
they
credit.
played a heck of a
Take a
game.
little credit for this.
There you go.
Yeah, it's all us. It's
Just
all
say
us.
thank you. That's all you have to do. All right, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick time out. You're listening to the Football Postgame Show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tires. The number 312-644-6767. And don't call myself. It's the postgame show on The Score.
The Bears beat the Cowboys to get their first win of the season. Keep it here as the Score team breaks down the game. Plus, we'll have your reaction too, right here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Broadcasting live from the Hyundai Studios. Presented to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
The Score!
Zach Zaidman here. It's time to fall in love with a new Acura. Visit McGrath Acura of Westmont to experience all your favorite new models in person. Lease a 2025 Acura ADX for just $339 a month for 36 months. When you do the math, you choose McGrath Acura of Westmont. It's where I get my cars, so tell them Zach sent you.
Through Acura Financial Services, not all will qualify based on MSRP, tax, title, license, and dock fees extra. See dealer for complete details.
Hey Chicago fans, Patrick Manley here. It's time to kick off your deck project with TimberTech, a real decking all-star. TimberTech is the #1 brand in premium decking. It delivers real wood looks without the hassle of costly maintenance, and it will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. Plus, with industry-leading warranties, you know your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Discover why TimberTech is Chicago's MVP of decking and railing. Order free samples at timbertech.com.
It is not easy to help your kid find the right college. It can be downright overwhelming. Mark Rody here. I knew what I wanted in the university. So did my parents. Wanted a top-tier education, affordability, and of course, safety. So the slam dunk choice for me was Illinois State University. We agreed on that. And I love that it was an easy car or train ride away. Perfect for all. Visit illinoisstate.edu today and start planning your visit with your soon-to-be high school grad.
For 3
3 days only, this Friday through Sunday, Rasny Jewelers will host its annual Natural Diamond event, bringing in millions of dollars in additional GIA-certified natural diamonds. It's the perfect time to upgrade your diamond, find an engagement ring, or add to your collection. 1-carat engagement rings from $4,999. Buy a diamond starting at $2,500 and receive a complimentary engagement ring setting. Experience the best selection and best pricing from Chicago's family-owned jeweler. Book your appointment today at rasny.com.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today, 630-360-9000. That's 630-360-9000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Hi, it's Layla Rahimi for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 670 The Score. NFL Sunday is coming. You've got your crew, your coach, your snacks, your slate, and FanDuel is coming in with something extra. This isn't just another NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop, and now we're making it even better. Because this week, FanDuel is bringing the bonus. That's right. Right now, all customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back with something extra in your account, because that's what Sundays should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com/Layla, Leila, to download the app and get in on the action before kickoff. 21 and up in President, Illinois. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Allstate knows your home means everything to you, and you'll do anything to protect it. But not just with any protection. You want insurance that'll be there for you and your family when you need it most. And that's what Allstate's been doing for over 60 years. So check Allstate first for home insurance you can rely on. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
FinishingChicago.com connects you with trusted decorative finishing contractors. Experts in painting, wall coverings, drywall, glass systems, and custom signage. Focused on safety, quality, and impact. For a great finish, visit FinishingChicago.com.
We're back with more of the Scores postgame show, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com and buy a Turo tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Turo.com. And now, here are your hosts, Olin Kreutz, Patrick Manley, and Mully from the Mully and Haugh Show on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
Welcome back. It is the football postgame show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Turo Tire. And it's time for the hot and the cold, sponsored by Plumbers 911. Plumbing emergency, call the professionals. Available 24/7 at 1-833-PLUM-911. And who's hot and who's cold? I just think it's the best game of Caleb Williams' young career. We probably have to give it to him. We could give it to more people, certainly Tyreek Stevenson, who was named cold earlier today, representatively. So Caleb, I guess, will be the representative this time. As far as cold, genius idea here. Cold would be Matt Eberflus, who is in a deep freeze, coming back
Once
to
a bear,
Chicago.
always a bear, right?
Chicago has not been good to him, man.
Yeah, Flusie's going to
No.
flus. If the Lions are going to lion, then Matt Eberflus is going to Matt Eberflus. That's so mean. I don't think he got a bad reception or anything. I don't even know if many people were aware he was there. Maybe early, little bit, but just a little. So thank you, Matt Eberflus. One last
Hey,
shot.
guys, let's just hope that if Caleb keeps getting the hot every weekend, that means the Bears are winning.
Is he
so hopefully this is the first of many. That's what I want to hear. I want to say,
the offensive player of the
I
week?
want it to not be a
NFC player of
debate.
the week. Yeah, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. What do you think?
4 touchdowns. Why not?
Pretty good.
That'd be nice. Be nice
No,
to have a
no
quarterback.
turnovers, no picks, no fumbles, no sacks.
No sacks.
Yeah, it'd be
That's an
nice
efficient
for our
game.
quarterback, man. And Pat, to the bigger point that we were making earlier is just how efficient he was throughout the game, right? How efficient he was at the line of scrimmage, something we've heard a lot about, and how efficient he was from the pocket. In the pocket, playing the game, executing, going through his progressions, getting the ball out, finding the open man, letting his playmakers make plays, things that they're asking him to do up there. And credit to Ben Johnson and his staff and Declan Doyle and Coach Barrett and those guys for saying, look, this is what we have to do to win football games consistently in the NFL. And I said a lot last week, do it instead of tell us about it. Well, today we saw them do it. So credit to them for doing it today and getting after a Dallas Cowboys team and finding a win and looking good and efficient doing it.
Yeah, and Olin, another thing is his eyes were up. We hear all these quarterback gurus on the score talk about, your eyes got to stay up when you're in the pocket, you get a little bit of pressure sliding in the pocket. There were a few times in the past where we've seen him take off. You know what I mean? He'll take off and run, put his eyes down, and just look for that first down, where to me it looks like he's being coached. Keep your eyes up, find the open receiver. He did that today. I think there was one time on that, maybe it was the Wildcat end around where, Tom Brady pointed out, I forgot, was it whoever was coming across the middle, that if he kept his eyes up, he could have hit him. But that's a different play. But I thought overall, just he looks more like a quarterback in command. He looks like what I want to see, or the successful quarterbacks we've seen in the quarterback play from the pocket. And he looked very comfortable everywhere.
Let's get back to the phone lines. We'll start with John from Mount Prospect. Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, boys? We're coming back from the game. I'm with my son Jack and the 2 super fans, Charlie and Graham. I got to tell you, after years of suffering, of watching just offensive ineptitude, it felt so good to watch a professional, competent offense, a competent play caller, a competent quarterback with a high ceiling. They just looked in control this game, right? It's like I felt like they weren't just going to give it up like they've done so many times. And let me ask you one question. The connection between Rome and Caleb, I think something's there. It's like huge game last week from Rome, right? 100-plus yards, multiple touchdowns. Comes through again today with a touchdown. I think something's building there, that relationship for today and the future that can lead to big things for the Bears. What do you guys think?
Yeah, John, I see it. I hope so. I mean, these are 2 guys that came in together that seem like they're friends, buddies, or whatever, but they're both super talented players. And I do see that, but I'm really upset. I was about to say a bad word, that Rome needed 1.5 more yards, and I would have had a good parlay with him and Colston Loveland today. He only came up with 62 yards instead of 63.5 yards. And I owe Grody $8.50 because I did hit on my Colston bet.
Look at that. Look at that.
It is amazing how these Vegas guys know. It's like 1 yard away, right? But, John, Jack, Charlie, Graham, super fans, thanks for listening. But Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams, that is the goal, right? That is the dream, that they become this connection that is hard to stop. And Rome has looked really, really good in the last He's open, and to Mully's point, every once in a while, he'll drop 1 or 2 of them, and it frustrates you, but he is getting open. He is making plays. Caleb does seem to find him in critical moments and look for him, but it was also good to see Cole Kmet and Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. Hopefully he's okay today, and DJ Moore and everybody in the mix when they did build what I like to call this 7-on-7 team, right? This dangerous 7-on-7 team. It was good to see them out there moving around, getting open, and their playmaker, Ben Johnson, putting in position to make plays, and Caleb, Pat, not trying to do too much, just get the ball in his playmaker's hands.
I loved that they got a touchdown pass for DJ Moore, because early in the game I thought, wow, they're playing him at running back. Maybe the quarterback won't throw to him. Maybe they don't like each other. I don't know what I think sometimes with those two. But it was just great that he caught a touchdown pass. And I think they said on the broadcast, Tom Rinaldi may have said it, that he compared DJ Moore to Deebo Samuel. And we know that DJ didn't like that comparison. So I guess Caleb didn't hear him say that he was DJ, he wasn't Deebo, and whatever that whole exchange was. Sometimes I worry about their chemistry because I think he can be a really good player. But you're certainly right about the fact that the 7-on-7 team that we've heard so much about seems to finally have appeared.
Mm-hmm. You know what's great? We have a problem. Who gets the ball?
Yes.
Somebody's going to complain. I think that's a great thing, right? I have no problem with that. I'm sure that there's going to be games where Rome goes off, DJ goes off, Luther hopefully goes off, that it just kind of goes around, you know, kind of massive matchups, what the game plan is. And this is a good problem to have. I kind of like it. I go back to when Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey were playing. I remember Brandon would be a little upset if Alshon went off because he wanted his catches. You know, those receivers can be a little selfish, which is fine.
Brandon Marshall,
but as long as you're winning.
I don't believe you.
Oh, never in public though. Wait, what? No, but that's a good problem to have. Like I was like, all right, fine. Brandon's over there upset because he only, had 52 yards instead of having Alshon had a 100+ yard game or whatever and 2 TDs. But we won the game. We're putting up yards, and that's a good problem to have. But I think all receivers should complain. The good ones always do, right? If they're not getting the ball.
Let's get
they do.
Sorry, go ahead, Olin.
No, I was going to ask you guys
agreeing.
if you guys thought.
Gotcha.
No, I was going to ask you guys if you guys thought when Schottenheimer, he decided to kick that field goal on 4th and 2, and we said coming into this game that both teams will probably have to score about 30 points, right, to win the game. And I thought that when I was wondering if you guys thought that when he kicked that field goal, Ben said, okay, this is what I'm going to throw my flea flicker, right? Like, okay, you're going to play scared. I'm going after points this game. I thought that was a big statement by him when it was like, you kick field goals, I throw flea flickers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I thought like they brought him out and they tried to get him to jump, and they didn't bite, and then they settled for the field goal. I was surprised, given the way they were moving the ball, that they settled for the field goal. Frankly, I thought they would go, and they mention that the numbers say go for it from there. But then again, that kicker, we talked about that guy. He's pretty automatic.
Yeah, but I thought that, and Pat, they did it twice. They kicked the field goal twice on their first 2 drives.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's credit to the defense, too. They were bending, but they didn't break. And I got nervous, like we said earlier, with that the 7 yards per carry in the first half. But, again, credit to the defense. If they do that and they only give up field goals, I mean, we were used to that Olin with Lovey's defense that, they get down to the 20-yard line. Next thing you know, you're bottling them up and they're kicking field goals. That's fine by me. But, again, Dennis Allen, we questioned him going into this game. He put a good game plan together, stepped up with a depleted defense, and only allowed 14 points.
I thought, though, when they scored the touchdown and got the 2-point conversion, that's when I thought, like, oh, boy, here we go. All the hard work and the explosive plays, they just caught up to him so quickly. And then, it worked out great, obviously, but that kind of gave you a little bit of pause.
It did, but I think that was Coach Allen's plan, right? That maybe I can't stop them, but I'll keep them in front of me,
right?
And hopefully get them to make a mistake or get a penalty, right? And before their second field goal, Pat, is 3rd and 3, and Guyton jumps, right? And that's exactly, I think, what Dennis Allen's plan was. And to your point, Mully, they tied the game up there. But think if they actually scored their first 2 drives touchdowns. Then the Bears are down and it's not tied, right? So trying to get them to kick field goals, I would imagine when Dennis Allen was in his room, Pat, this week, it was like, okay, if we can just get them to kick field goals and not be as explosive. Now that obviously was with CeeDee Lamb in mind, right? Okay, if we can keep everything in front of us, calls a few takeaways like Tyreek Stevenson got and all the takeaways they had today, then we can stay in this game and outscore them.
They did, guys. And that 19-play drive, huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely huge. I mean,
game.
they ate up the entire third quarter. So that just takes probably 2.5 possessions away from the Cowboys, right? That they can't come back from a deficit after that. I mean, that was absolutely just – it was really impressive. I think Brad Biggs tweeted that it's the first 19-play drive since 2001.
Wow.
I mean, but 19 play, that's a long drive anyway, but that broke their back. I mean, that ate up the entire team.
I mean, to end it on a 4th and 4 touchdown.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, that really – so you're not only did you take the whole quarter away from them, but you just, you end up with points and you go – I mean, that was it. You felt great about them after that. And I don't think anyone scored after that either.
Did you guys think that Rex Ryan was excited when they showed CeeDee Lamb's ankle?
I don't know. That
was so weird, man.
If I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. I don't think the ankle part is what he enjoys.
We did get a full shot of his full foot walking off the field.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are they showing us here? Like the guy's ankle?
I thought, wait a minute. I didn't know what part of the anatomy it was, and I thought maybe.
Oh, no. Where are we going?
Oh, man.
I was going to make a Kenkel joke. I didn't know where that was going.
These post-game shows are a lot better after a win, man.
They're fun after. Thank you to the Bears for a good win today, man.
Yes. Amen.
All right. Let's try Sam. Sam's from Rockford. Hey, Sam.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Good. So I just want to talk about the Bears win, obviously. Last year, we only scored 28 points maximum. So this game, we scored 31, which is amazing. There's a lot of creative plays. We got the younger cast involved. Burton went for 101 yards. Colston got involved. Komet caught a touchdown. All the mouths were fed. How do you think a younger cast has impacted Caleb Williams?
Pat, I think they're getting comfortable together. In this game, obviously watching them, and I think the new coaching staff has impacted Caleb Williams. And we talked about Dak Prescott going into the game, that it was his 125th start. When you talk about why he's so efficient at the line of scrimmage, and he knows what he's looking for, how to get guys lined up in and out of the huddle. And Caleb is getting more experience, and you just want to see him keep taking more and more steps.
Yeah, and Caleb outplayed Dak, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. And I asked Brian brought I forgot his name, our Dallas guest at the beginning. I asked, is Dak elite? And he looked elite the first 2 weeks this week. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe he has kind of turned the corner and reading defenses and being executing that offense great. He didn't today, and it was just nice to see Caleb outplay the other quarterback, and he did handedly. And again, let's just keep seeing that. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions every week and almost 300 yards, but everything else we saw today at the line of scrimmage, in the pocket, just game management, everything he was doing, that was excellent. And we just need to see more of that.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna take another timeout. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Football Postgame Show presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tire.
Plumbers 911 Football Mondays are bigger than ever, with all of our shows joined by an unprecedented team of experts reacting after the games. Plumbers 911 Football Mondays are presented by Busey Bank on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
This segment is brought to you by AlmostFreeTeeth.com. New teeth, new smile, new you. New teeth, new smile, new you. Save up to 95% at AlmostFreeTeeth.com because confidence should never cost a fortune.
Sliding into second? Smart play. Sliding through a red light? Not so much. With Aturo tires, get the grip and stopping power you need when it matters most. Stay in control, stay safe. Studies show that new tires can reduce stopping distance on wet roads by nearly 90 feet. Ditch the stress and drive with confidence. Aturo Tires has you covered. Visit Atturo.com to find your nearest authorized dealer.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402. Again, that's 800-515-4402.
Roofers and Waterproofers Local 11 provides quality value and service in all facets of the commercial, industrial, and institutional roofing and waterproofing industry, promoting skilled craftsmen and craftswomen through apprenticeship training. Local 11 members are trained in the application of the latest roofing and waterproofing techniques. They're at the forefront of design and installation of environmental-friendly solar, green, and garden systems. To find a highly skilled roofing contractor today, go to ChicagoRoofingContractors.com. And
now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. We turn to some funny places for support sometimes, but not everybody is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. What you're really looking for is help with your relationships, anxiety, depression, or other clinical issues. You can get that guidance from a credentialed therapist online with BetterHelp. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the U.S. They do initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. And if you're not happy with that match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time with a click of the button. With more than 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people. As the largest online therapy provider, BetterHelp provides access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of experience. So do it all with BetterHelp. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/Haugh. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/HAUGH.
Hey, it's David Haugh for Verizon, and if you're like me, you like knowing what to expect, especially when it comes to your phone bill. Well, Verizon's got some big news for your peace of mind. For the first time ever, they're locking in low prices for 3 years. That's right, 3 years guaranteed with my plan. So if you're thinking about making the switch to Verizon, this is just for you. You can get a single line for a low price of just $50 a month when you switch and bring your phone on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. And again, that price is locked in for 3 whole years because at Verizon, they've got your back now and in the future. So go ahead, take one thing off your worry list. Visit your local Verizon store in Chicago and ask about their 3-year price guarantee today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
It's coming. Prescott doesn't see it, and he gets dropped. Bears get home with the first sack of the game.
It's Dominique Robinson.
Yeah, Guyton gets beat on the left side. They also have an inside pressure. A little cross blitz, but no chance with Guyton getting beat off the ball there by Robinson. Straight to the quarterback. Dak actually does a nice job of holding on to that ball, but that's the type of play this defense needs, and that Dennis Allen's waiting for, so he can get him in these third and longs and deal with this very difficult blitz package. Look at all those guys up
there. Welcome back to the football post-game show. We've got Olin Kreutz and Patrick Manley, and it is, of course, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Turo Tire. And that is our hit of the game. It's sponsored by Estwing Professional Tools, made in the USA for over 100 years. Estwing.com. The Dominique Robinson sack was the first of 4 in the game for the Chicago Bears, who also got 4 takeaways in the game. And as we mentioned earlier, normally you dominate those kind of statistics, you're going to win games. And it was fairly obvious that the 4 takeaways meant a lot, and 4 sacks when Caleb Williams is not sacked for the first time in his NFL career. Big stuff, pretty big, important stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was a complete game, guys. And when they got up like they did late in the fourth quarter, you want to see the sacks coming. You want to see Montez Sweat get that sack. You know, that's what he's paid to do, to kind of end the games like that. And it was good to see. So just a complete game all around. I mean, 31-14 was great, but I'm going to give all the credit to the Bears, but I'm also going to say this. The Cowboys looked like the Bears the last week, right? They had those penalties you were talking about on a couple of those runs. Yes. They had the interceptions. They had just inopportune plays. They looked like a bad football team. But good football teams and better football teams do that to teams. And the Bears played a complete game. And all the credit in the world to them, and I'm just excited to see what they did today, but hopefully they can do that against better competition, and hopefully they can continue getting better.
Yeah, 31-14 is a convincing win, Mully and Pat.
Yep.
And a lot of big plays in that game by Chicago Bears, and Dominique Robinson, sack, Montez Sweat, the 4 takeaways. We talked about this coming into the show, man. The 4 touchdowns by the young quarterback, and just play after play, and a coach saying, look, you can kick field goals. I'm going to throw flea flickers and go for it on 4th down. I know what kind of game this is, right? I thought Ben Johnson's game management improved today, and his thought of how the Bears needed to win this football game by scoring 30 points. Now, credit Dennis Allen, man. He only gave 14 to a team, and we know CeeDee Lamb is down, but we talked about earlier. So is Jalen Johnson, so is Kyler Gordon, and so is TJ Edwards. So if you're looking for a team to feel bad for you, the Cowboys, you got the wrong team. Right, you get the wrong team. We don't feel bad. We want to win this football game. Credit to the Chicago Bears for winning the football game, and we said earlier to Ben Johnson for getting his first win in the NFL.
Yeah, we have some audio of him. Would you like to hear his reaction to the victory and his first win of his career?
Yes, please.
Shall we?
Why not?
Baby T.
Colston was the only one that didn't finish the game. He's got a hip. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. I told the guys in the locker room our really points of emphasis going into the week were playing great situational football, and I'm talking about 3rd down, red zone, and 2-minute. And I thought they really answered that bell. I thought we were statistically better than that team in all 3 of those areas, and that was good formula for us to come out on top here this week. And so. Thought a number of guys played really outstanding football. 2 of the game balls went to Caleb. I'm looking at his numbers, 142.6 passer rating and 4 touchdowns. I thought he was really good. And the thing that you don't see on the stat sheet is he's getting a lot more comfortable calling those plays in the huddle. We were able to get out of the huddle a little bit faster, and we were able to get on the line and operate a little bit cleaner as well. So was proud of him for that. And then defensively, once again, a number of guys stood out to us, but Tremaine got the other game ball. He was all over the field, 14 tackles, 2 interceptions, and, really came through for us in a big way. With that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Today's game, no complaints. What was it like for you to have your vision, everything that you've been trying to get engineered here, materialize on the field?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, the first 2 weeks have not gone the way we wanted to. And, it's early. But we got to get the issues fixed, and I thought the guys were committed to that here this week. And we had a good week of preparation, and they came out and they played inspired football today. And so good things happen when you're playing hard, you're playing physical, and you're playing for the guy next to you. And I thought that's what happened here today.
On the flea flicker, DeAndre said he got hit when he threw it. He described it as like he shot a free throw back to Caleb. What did you see from Caleb on the quick release to be able to turn that around?
Yeah, I mean, when you ask in particular questions, I'll have to watch the tape on all this stuff. I just know that the ball handling looked a little bit iffy from my perspective, and those guys handled it really well. Caleb handled it really well, and he was able to throw a really nice pass there to Luther, and Luther turned the corner and scored.
Did you put that in this week, and what was the kind of thought process of putting that play in, especially running it that particular time right after Caleb throws a touchdown?
Yeah, we have gadgets up every week. I give the staff a lot of credit. They're going through and they're watching the tape and finding out things that may or may not fit from whether it was Dallas this year or some of the stuff we're watching of Chicago's defense from yesteryear. So that was really a staff find, and like I said, we worked it all week and felt really comfortable calling it this week.
Coach, what went into your decision to let them all hang out, so to speak, on the 4th and goal decision to go for the touchdown and basically put it away?
Yeah, have a plan going into the game, just where you're going to go for it on 4th down, and we got it inside the 5, and I felt good about it there.
What was the reaction on the sideline when Tyreek makes that play in the first quarter, and how much do you think that changed the game for you?
Yeah, I think we had 4 turnovers and didn't give away the ball at all. So I thought it was huge. That early in the game, they were able to run the ball a little bit on our defense, and we knew that. We knew that they were going to be able to move the ball. It's a very explosive offense. They got playmakers all over the place. Their offensive lines are really good. They got 3 first-rounders up there. And, I thought we came through with timely plays when we needed it, and that's a good example of it. I thought Tyreek, in general, had a really nice bounce-back game. He's one of those guys, like a lot of us, that we haven't started the season the way we wanted to yet. He's capable of being a big-time player in this league, and I thought he played that way today.
On that fourth down play, we asked DJ about it. He said he had no doubt that you were going to go for it there. Is that the kind of attitude you've been trying to, build in the locker room? The guys have confidence that you're going to go.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily tell them when I am or when I'm not, but yet I don't think they're surprised at this point with how the preseason went and the first couple games went that we'll go for it anywhere on the field.
Your first win as a head coach, probably a moment you've dreamt about for a long time. Will you be able to let that set in?
Yeah, it'll be fun for tonight, and then we're on to the next one. We're behind the 8 ball here. We're 1-2, and we got to get back to 500 here.
What was going on with Darnell Wright? He came out and then the whole time on the sideline he was kind of flexing his hand.
Yeah, he had an elbow, and he was able to. I think he's going to be fine.
Then in the second half, seeing the defensive line start to get to Dak, what do you think changed for them? Where it seemed like a struggle the first couple of weeks, but now it seems like they were sort of getting it at will, especially toward the end of the game.
Yeah, well, when you're up by multiple scores and it turns into a drop-back game, it makes it a lot simpler to tee off. And so, they really did a nice job in those situations. We talked about that 2-minute stuff being a big deal for us, and I thought the way we handled the end of the first half on both sides of the ball was really good. And then same thing, the way they finished the game there in the fourth quarter for us was huge.
How much should we draw a connection between the way you challenge your team publicly during the weeks and the way they responded today?
I don't know. They did a good job today.
Did you see a lot of your coaching points with him materializing as far as using his eyes to throw the defense off of where he was headed with the ball, things like that?
I have to go back and look. When I'm in the moment there, I'm just trying to see the result of the play and where we're at and keep the thing moving for him. So these are good questions for tomorrow.
I have another one for you. On the flea flicker, were you able to tell how well it worked? Were you able to tell, multiple guys open downfield, anything like that?
I saw when the ball was in the air that Luther was open.
There you go. He saw Luther wide open. Hey, that was fun. That's fun for him, right? I mean, first victory of his tenure, and he didn't, he kind of downplayed whether his calling out the team, the practice stuff, the way he kind of preached to them to be more physical, how that worked. He didn't seem to want to claim that was a big part of it. Is that interesting to you guys, or is that the mentality in the NFL you're moving on?
I think I liked it, Pat. I think I liked that press conference there. I think I liked where he's going with a lot of stuff. I think after the first couple games, he took a lot of responsibility, right? He did. He said that he had to call better plays, said that he had to do a better job, and then he came out after the second loss Monday and said, look, man, we have to practice better. Our practice habits are not good. And he didn't really say anybody. And like we talked about, sometimes when you say that, you're talking about the coaching staff too. You're talking about everybody in the building's practice habits are not good, because the coaches, let's be honest, are a big part of practice, right? They're a big part of getting their guys to concentrate on the details and the focus. And like you're saying, Mully, credit to Coach Johnson there for saying, look, we won the game. We're still 1-2. We're still behind. Talking about Tremaine Edmonds, right, Pat? Talking about the plays he made, and he made a lot of good plays, and Caleb Williams, and then just really putting the focus on what is next.
Yeah, I loved his tone, like just the way he wasn't overexcited, man. Come on, the guy won his first NFL game as a head coach. You got to be somewhat excited, right? Maybe he had that in the coach's meeting room or his coach's office and all that stuff, but the way he is acting in front of the media, the way he's standing up and talking about his team, I really like it. And Olin, I wrote down that, we're behind the 8 ball. We have a 1-2 record. And he gets it. It's a bigger picture, right? It's a great win. Hey, celebrate a little bit. But he understands they have a big hiccup in the first 2 weeks. The other thing I loved is he talked about Caleb Williams. It's little things, right, about Caleb. We talked about he's going from college to the pros, of learning how to clap, to say a cadence, to call a play, that he actually is calling plays in the huddle better, maybe to an outside person. That's a big thing. It's a hard thing. I mean, that's a 17-word play or something like that. So he's learning. We're seeing growth from him. And he said he was cleaner at the line. We mentioned it earlier. It looks that way. He now looks like a pro quarterback, and that's exciting to me. And it was nice to kind of back up what I said earlier a little bit, that he mentioned that. Let me pat myself on the back a little bit. That he mentioned that as well, and it was nice to see. And that's little things maybe we don't think as fans, but it goes a long way to being able to be the field general and play the way he did, where the game starts slowing down for him, and it did today.
Yeah, and a big thing, Pat, I think that Coach Johnson hopefully will bring to the team is, we have seen guys who get challenged and for 1 week can do it in the NFL. Yes. They can focus.
Yeah.
They can focus on the details. They can study film. They can do all the things they need to do for 1 or 2 or even 3 weeks, right? It's the 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks in a row of focus and holding the standard, right? And there's a saying in the NFL, once the standard slips, it's gone, right? Once the standard slips, it's gone. So once you set this standard and you're doing these things and you get these results, you hope that your young team falls in love with the work because they know the results that's coming.
Real quick, Mully, the best coaches I played for, like just special teams coaches, and obviously I'm talking about Dave Tobe and like Sweatman and Keith Armstrong, but when we had games like that, we played well, it still wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? He still called us out for all the stuff that we can be better. There's never a perfect game played. And all of what you're talking about, that standard, keep that standard high. And he talks about, he talked about in his opening press conference, Ben Johnson, get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's okay to walk in tomorrow morning and be uncomfortable again after a win 31-14. There's still a lot of stuff on that tape you can get better at all across the board. Yes, it was a big win for the Bears, his first win and a commanding win, but there still needs to be that standard that you're talking about, and it's okay to be uncomfortable after a win of 31-14.
All right, we got to take a quick time out. We shall return quickly, and we will get back to the phone lines. You're listening to the Football Postgame Show, presented by TimberTech Decking and Railing and Aturo Tire.
Bears win. Ben Johnson gets his first win in front of the Soldier Field faithful, beating the Cowboys.
Flickers way up there. Williams recovers, throws a seed, has a man, and is caught for a touchdown.
Stick around as all of our shows and Bears experts dissect the game from every angle and take you inside the locker room. Plus, we'll discuss their next game as the Bears head west to take on the Raiders. Here on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score. Always live on the free Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
This segment is sponsored by the Chicago Cubs on the Odyssey app.
Cubs fans, Pat Hughes here. The Cubs are in the playoffs.
He's got a chance. Cubs win.
Join Ron Coomer, Zach Zaidman, and me for all the action of Chicago's hometown playoff call on 670 The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
Hey, it's Coach Wanstead, and you know I love football. And there is no better place to watch and wager on games than at Four Winds Casinos. Last time my wife and I visited, from the minute we arrived, they treated us like family. From the valet to the dealers to the hotel and restaurant staff, everybody was just incredible. And did I mention the unbelievable food and live entertainment? A guaranteed win. Four Winds Casino, New Buffalo and South Bend. Your sports and entertainment headquarters.
Hey, football fans. Patrick Manley here. Two things I love, long snapping and an ice cold beer. So I partnered up with my friends at Tighthead Brewing Company to create Long Snapper IPA. It's a delicious West Coast style IPA with caramel malt flavors perfectly balanced with earthy pine and grapefruity citrus hop aromas. Find Long Snapper IPA wherever fine craft beer is sold and enjoy one on game day or at your next tailgate. Stop by our brewery in Mundelein or find Long Snapper IPA at all Chicago football home games. For exclusive Long Snapper merch, visit tightheadbrewing.com. Long Snapper IPA. Worth more than a try.
Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Someone is trying to frame us.
Until our names are cleared.
We're fugitives from Interpol.
Like Bonnie and Clyde with better snacks. Espionage, you still as good a shot as you used to be? Better is their love language.
We like to walk that fine line between techno thriller and romantic comedy.
We make up our own rules.
NCIS Tony and Ziva, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a best man speech, but getting one from some random +1.
I am honored to be standing here today, also confused and a little hungry. Does anyone want to switch entrees? Pretty sure I checked beef.
You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Thinking about a proposal? Perfect timing. Rasny Jewelers' Natural Diamond event is happening this Friday through Sunday. Once a year, Rasny expands its collection, bringing in millions of dollars in GIA-certified natural diamonds. Enjoy the best selection and best pricing. Plus, 1-carat diamond rings starting at $4,999. Receive a complimentary setting with any diamond purchase starting at $2,500. 3 days only this Friday through Sunday, only at Rasny Jewelers. For appointments and locations, visit rasny.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
FinishingChicago.com connects you with trusted decorative finishing contractors. Experts in painting, wall coverings, drywall, glass systems, and custom signage. Focused on safety, quality, and impact. For a great finish, visit FinishingChicago.com.
I think it's fun, too, just for us as Bears fans, that Ben Johnson is putting his foot on the pedal, man. He's calling what we've seen in Detroit, and he's feeling comfortable with his team to do that. And when he called, Olin, I talked about earlier when Olin said run the ball in the fourth quarter, and he calls that wildcat end around thing as well. I mean, he's just setting the tone for his team. I think he's telling these guys, like, we're going to be aggressive. On fourth down, he's going to go for it. He talked about that in the postgame that, we're going to do that. But also, I'm going to call the plays. If we practice them well, we're going to run them. And it keeps that defensive coordinator on their toes. They line up and like, all right, what the heck are they going to do now that maybe you dictate what the defense is going to do. You know, they're going to play a little safer on 3rd and 5 or situational football that you can call what you want to call and get after that defensive coordinator.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, Mully, I liked when he called it. I liked he called it after Schottenheimer decided that he was going to kick a field goal, right? And I imagine a guy like Ben Johnson writing, "You're scared, I'm not. I'm calling this play," on his sheet, right? I imagine him saying that, like, look, every analyst, anybody who watched these two teams going into this game had the score at about, either 34-31, I think you guys had, or 31-28 or something in that area. And you knew that when you watch these two teams play, that field goals they weren't going to be good enough, right? And now that was before CeeDee Lamb got hurt, is what you thought was going to happen in this game with all the injuries and stuff. And I think when he kicked that field goal, I like that Ben Johnson said, "You kick field goals, I throw flea flickers," right? I like that part of the way he attacks the game.
Yeah, I like that idea. And now I don't know if this matters to anybody, but just for the record, Big Z tweeted out that our guy Joe Fortenbaugh in our Las Vegas man in Connecticut says that the Bears are installed as a 2-point underdog going into Vegas next weekend. And we know Tom Terrific was on the broadcast, so he stole all sorts of information, and he will be giving all the secret information to the coaching staff there. But what are your thoughts on the Bears? I mean, again, winning at home, great to see. Winning on the road, much more difficult in the NFL.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll's unit, and I think Joe Woods is the D coordinator there. They're tough, man. I mean, it's going to be a good test for Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and this offense. And look, Pat, as far as Tom Brady goes, there is some truth to that, with him being around and be able to watch your team and hear the cadence and talk to people. And Tom is a smart guy, man. He knows how to find little ways, little things to what also look for to give people tips to win games. But also, Tom's also the kind of guy that whatever he sees a lot more on film than most people see, right? But then you put him in a booth, you put him around your team, he gets to be on the field for pregame warm-ups. It is an advantage for the Raiders that he gets to do that. And especially a guy like him, with the way he looks at football, for the things he's looking for. There is football savants, right? There are guys who see things that other people don't. And Tom Brady is one of them. But excited for Chicago Bears, and basically that's a pick-em game, right? When the whole team has 2 points. Mully, you know betting a lot better than I do, and that's probably, I haven't watched the film yet of the Raiders and gone through the matchups and taken a good look at it, but that's probably about what I would think, just seeing them a couple times on TV.
Yeah, here's something to think about too. I don't know the fans out in Las Vegas, right? Bears fans travel. It's Vegas. Yeah. I mean, I wonder what the crowd's going to be like out there. Have people already bought the tickets, knowing that the Bears were playing there? And will it really feel like a home game for the Raiders? I don't know what they are like out there. I haven't watched many of their games or know what their fans are like, but I do know the Bears fans travel, and this would be one I would think they would put on their list to go out there and see that new stadium and enjoy Vegas. So hopefully the Bears fans travel, and it's not that much of a home field advantage for the Raiders.
Generally speaking, and it's not like it's shifted over the years, but you are credited with 3 points for being at home. So what you're saying is that the Bears might be favored at a neutral site. But, the 3 points is what you get just by virtue of being at home. So you kind of look at it that way sometimes. I wonder how you feel about the Tom Brady thing, Pat, because, I don't care whether there is something or there isn't. Perception becomes reality, and the perception is that they have an advantage. You've got a guy who learned at the feet of the master how to cheat or gamesmanship, whatever way you want to put it, and now he's an owner, and they spot him in the box with the headset on. Perception becomes reality.
Yeah, my thing is, you said it right there. He's an owner, right? How many other owners are allowed in other buildings and be able to get intel?
None.
Zero, right? But Tom Brady's Tom Brady. The NFL treats him differently. I think everybody treats him differently, and I do think it's an advantage. I don't like it. I don't think he should be able to do that. I think when you're an owner, you shouldn't be able to be in the broadcast booth. I think his whole thing is just different. I don't know, but it is Tom Brady. I don't like it. That's it. I just don't like it.
Any lean for next week's game? Anybody leaning one way or another? I asked you if it's sustainable. Is this the beginning of a winning streak leading to a bye week?
I'm
You're
putting it on
asking us
Caleb
if we're
again,
drunk
Olin.
on the win.
Yeah.
Drunk on the win, Pat.
Well, hey, let's enjoy it till midnight. Then we'll
There we
turn
go.
the page.
That's right.
There we
Then
go.
Then we're on to the Raiders.
Yep.
Great stuff, guys. Really appreciate doing this and really enjoyed finally a nice win for the Bears. And want to thank Tyler Farringall for his great work, getting everything lined up and paying attention to all our callers. And thanks to everyone for calling. This is, of course, the football post-game show. It is presented by the fine folks at TimberTech Decking and Railing and Atturo, your hometown tire. Atturo Tire. Check them out at Atturo.com. I'll be on tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. I believe, Olin, you will be joining us around 7, and Patrick will be on with the on Tuesday with Rahimi and Harris, and I believe Mark Grody, too. Does Grody join you, Pat? Because he sometimes won't join me. I don't know why. It's cruel. All right, thanks to everyone, and congratulations to Ben Johnson and the Bears on the first victory of 2025, first victory of the new era in Bears football.